All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Detroit Lions rookie defensive lineman Tyleik Williams. Williams had a really impressive performance in the Lions' massive victory in prime time over the Baltimore Ravens. We'll break down everything he did so well, as always, in the comment section below. Give us any feedback you might have. If you're a fan of these film reviews and want to help us to do more of them, consider supporting us by becoming a member. There's a link in the description box below. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, we're going to open up with a pass rush hustle play, and there's Tyleik Williams right there, line up in a 3 technique on the outside shoulder of the Ravens left guard right there. And what we're going to get here from the Baltimore Ravens is a standard pass protection. The play side, which is the right side of the Ravens offensive line on this particular play, they're all going to take the gap to the right. So the center's going to take this gap, guard's going to take that gap, and the tackle is going to take this gap, which means we're going to get it man-on-man on the backside. Left guard man-on-man and left tackle man-on-man right there. Little running back motion pre-snap just to help the quarterback get a look at the defense. But this is a situation right here with number 8 for Baltimore. He is a scrambler. He's a heck of an athlete. You've got to play if you're a defense lineman to the absolute maximum here. You got to go full go to contain and close out. Williams, for a big man, does a great job. Let's check it out. There's a motion. There's a snap. Good little pass rush right there. Push the pocket. That's well done by Williams, but he keeps working. Keeps working. Keeps working. Keeps working. Keeps working. Close it out. Helps get a pressure. Limit the damage. You have got to hustle if you're going to beat good teams. You've got to play to the max if you're going to beat good quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson. And Tyleik Williams does that here. Look, it's a good effort off the rip, right? One-on-one on the left guard, push him back into the quarterback's lap. That's pretty good. A little pressure right there. That's pretty good, right? Not elite, of course. You're not getting a sack or actually hitting the quarterback here initially, but still pretty solid effort, right? We'll call it a B plus effort, right? Doing your job at least in terms of being more of a run-stuffing defensive tackle. But it's going above and beyond. It's finishing the play that really matters, and that's what we're seeing here from Williams. Hustle, moving around. Lamar Jackson is the kind of guy that right here, right when he escapes, right there, this has a chance to be a huge play. He makes a living doing this. He's won MVPs turning this situation here into touchdowns. And we have guys like Tyleik Williams and Anzalone too. He busting his butt as well. Love the hustle across the board. You have a chance to shut him down, which the Lions did just enough to come up with a huge road victory. Again, it wasn't perfect for the Lions defense. It wasn't perfect from Tyleik Williams' perspective either. But I tell you what, Lions fans, it was a championship level effort, and that effort should carry you the rest of the season. All right, for the wide copy, watch Williams right there. Again, he drives 72 the left guard into the quarterback's lap, right? That's not bad right there. It looks like he doesn't get very close to Lamar Jackson, but that's a deep drop from Lamar, and it forces him to kind of sit in the pocket and then have to start into a scramble drill. Right here, though, this is what we see all the time with Lamar Jackson. He turns this situation, dead to rights, no one's open, into touchdowns. I mean, he does this all the time. So what do you do if you're Tyleik Williams right here? You hustle. You keep your eye on your quarterback, and you keep working. You keep driving, put your foot in the ground, hustle to the quarterback. And again, nothing stupid. He doesn't hit him late or draw a penalty, right? There's always the risk of that. But you have to play to the echo of the whistle. You cannot stop against Lamar Jackson. Tyleik Williams, again, with a championship effort. Love to see it from the rookie. Nice play. Good defense for Detroit. All right, next up, let's go with some run defense. And there's Tyleik Williams lined up right there. We're going to call it a wide 3 technique on the outside shoulder of the Ravens right guard. And anytime you're playing run defense against a really good running football team like the Baltimore Ravens, you've got to be gap sound. So you can look at the structure of the defense. Obviously, the defensive ends will have outside contain like you can see there. Linebacker will have this gap. Tyleik Williams will have this gap. Inside, we actually have this defensive tackle lined up in a 1 technique on the outside shoulder of the center. He actually takes this gap. Linebacker Campbell takes that gap. This defensive tackle has this gap. And this safety, I believe, in the box right there, he's got responsibility for that gap. So they got the gaps all squared away. You got to do your job. You got to do your assignment in this play, and it's going to be just a split zone concept. They're going to bring Andrews across the formation at the snap. They're going to hand it off this direction to Derrick Henry. Again, they're just looking for some kind of hole to crease. They're trying to see if you're disciplined. And up front, if you're the defensive guys, if you're the defensive lineman, if you're the linebackers, you have got to hold your gap and do your responsibility across the board. Because if you don't, they will crease you. The Lions do a great job until the cavalry arrives from the outside and make the play. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's the inside run. Nowhere to go. Cavalry arrives. No gain. Good team defense. Let's look at Tyleik Williams. Again, this is his gap. What does he do here? He sets the edge, holds his gap, plays off the block, part of the tackle. This is how you win. This is how you beat the Baltimore Ravens. Now, look, and it wasn't perfect stopping the run against the Ravens. It never will be, considering how good they are. Good offensive line, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. It is never going to come close to a dominant performance. They're just too good. But you just got to do your job. If you do your job over the course of a long game and over a long season, you will have a lot of success. And Tyleik Williams does a really good job right here. My only complaint, and he may be coached this, I'm not sure, but normally you like to see defensive linemen stay with their hips, their knees, and shoulders and helmet parallel to line of scrimmage. See how he gets a little turned right there? Opens up the chance for a crease, but otherwise stays in his gap, puts the offensive lineman's butt in the hole right there, allows Anzalone to be in a position to fill, which he is. Team defense. You can't be selfish. You have to be selfless. Do your job and you can stop the run. Good play here by Williams.
Yeah, Nick, and I think so far what we've seen for Tyleik Williams in the run defense grade, he's starting to get going. We're starting to see him. He's got 2 stops this season, stops, tackles that are losses for the offense. He's really inserted himself into. We've seen a couple plays already, just picking things up. I think he's getting a handle on the run defense game for this Lions team. He's a big guy, 6'3", 330. I think he's an imposing force in the middle of this defense. I think we're already starting to see him shine in the run defense game for the Lions.
All right, sticking with the run defense, and there's Tyleik Williams right there. Once again, line up in a 3 technique on the outside shoulder of the Ravens guard. And we're going to get another power concept here from the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to get down blocks here across the board, down blocks, and we're going to get the backside guard pulling, and we're going to get the tight end coming around as well, leading the whole this direction. It's going to be an action this way with Derrick Henry. Again, old school power concept. It's a little bit of a different variation, right? Back in the day, you would have, a fullback, and you'd have just a pulling guard. Now they do it with the H-back tight end across the formation and the shotgun. Listen, it's 2025, modern NFL, a lot of different looks, but same old school concepts. Here's the situation. Tyleik Williams, again, doing your job. You got to defend the back block, hold your gap, but also get off blocks and finish the play. That's the key part. You've got to do your job, but you also have to finish. Tyleik Williams does that here. Let's check that out. There's a snap. There's the pullers. Inside run. Minimal gain. Good defense. Let's look at Tyleik Williams right here on the backside. You can see the center blocking back to him right there. Engages with him, holding his gap right there. You got to do your job. Once he sees that it's a run going the other way, he plays off the block and makes a tackle. Here's the beautiful thing I love about this from Tyleik Williams' perspective. He doesn't try and loop around and give up a lot of ground. He doesn't try and backdoor it. He just works horizontally over the top while staying engaged, right? What this does is it constricts the hole. You can see on the center now, his butt kind of gets in the hole a little bit right there. That's what you want to do. Sometimes defensive linemen at the snap here, they leap over the top and go backwards like 2 or 3 yards, and actually opens up a cutback opportunity. Some guys also try and backdoor it, which is generally a disaster as well. Tyleik Williams, fundamentally sound for a rookie. Engages, good body position there. Keeps working across while engaged. Helps make the play. Nice rep. After the wide copy, you can see Williams right there with the tight end H-back coming in motion, getting set pre-snap. Again, he's going to take on this back block right here with the pullers coming around. Good job, stays engaged, and helps make the tackle. This is how you beat the Baltimore Ravens running game. This is how you beat the Baltimore Ravens. This is how you beat any good football team. Fundamentally sound physical defense, finishing the play. Those 3 things. You got to do your job, you got to be physical, and you got to finish. And Tyleik Williams, very early in his career, I'm not going to deny that. There's a lot of ways this could go, but so far, so good from the young defensive lineman. A lot of people question the draft pick. He continues to look like a great find for Detroit. All right, sticking with the run defense, and there's Williams right there on the left side of your screen, lined up in a 3 technique on the outside shoulder of number 72. We're going to get a standard inside zone concept here from the Baltimore Ravens. A little bit of a twist, so you have the tight end lined up kind of as a wide receiver stance there. He's going to flash like he's going to zone block, then work up to the next level. Left tackle is going to work up this direction right here. We're going to get a base reach here, then zone blocks and zone tracks on the backside, and Derrick Henry is just going to press it this direction and try and find a hole wherever he can. This is a situation with all of this green grass right here where you almost have to treat this, if you're Tyleik Williams, as an edge defender. You kind of have to set the edge to force the running back into his help. But if he also stays wide, you have to be prepared to make the play. Williams does a great job. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's a zone track. Well defended. Williams makes a play. This is perfect from Tyleik Williams. Look how he engages this guard. Look at his position right there. See how he's parallel to line of scrimmage? Knees, hips, shoulders. Perfect. Forces the running back into his help. There's the help. Nowhere to go. Even if this tackle isn't made right there, who's that? The backside linebacker. Really good job right there. Even if he doesn't make the play, he's running into another mass of humanity. I mean, this is a dead play. What if Derrick Henry tries to bounce it outside? There's Tyleik Williams. This is so good. This is winning. He's giving up no ground. Look at this shock, right? You see right here, face mask to face mask. Who wins this battle of the bench press? Tyleik Williams. Look at that extension. That's perfect. And then fights off the block, makes the play. Great rep from the rookie. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than this. Not a perfect player. He does have things to work on, but when you talk about being a quality run defender day one as defensive tackle against really good competition early in the season, look, you could do a lot worse. It's hard to do much better than 91.
And I think, like we saw here, another great run defense play for this Lions team. And that's, we've seen some flashes. We've seen some really great plays. One thing I would like to see is just overall better run defense performance for Tyleik Williams. I think he's starting to get there. We're seeing these flashes getting up there. PFF grades can be a little bit iffy at times, but he hasn't really graded out great this season so far. 48.6 run defense grade for Tyleik Williams. Those things can be unreliable at times. We have seen the flashes, but I think he's capable of a whole lot more. So if there's one critique, even though he's starting to get going, we're seeing the flashes. I'd like to see a bigger performance in run defense for Tyleik Williams.
All right, but before we go any further, I want to quickly talk about a super interesting sports betting system that I came across recently called the Capper Collective. The Capper Collective pays for premium picks of the top 50 sports betting handicappers in the world and combines them all to produce the ultimate consensus picks every day. I love this idea because it just makes so much sense to me. Since their inception last year, they have a proven track record of winning consistently for the members and are already up over 110 units on the year so far, meaning that $100 bettors would have already made over 10K this year alone using the system. The collective subscribes to and tracks the performance of all the top sports betting groups for you, and their proprietary algorithm makes sure that only handicappers who legitimately win long term are used in their consensus system. This kind of sports betting innovation doesn't come around very often, so I highly recommend checking out the Capper Collective's premium membership options. They're offering a special discount to my followers right now, so hit the link in the description and use the code SMI, 3 letters, SMI, for 25% off. Thanks for listening. Now let's get back to the video. All right, now the Ravens are a more traditional power football position, right? You have an old school kind of fullback, even though it's a tight end right there. You've got a tight end at the line of scrimmage, and we're going to run another power concept. Fullback leading the way here, pulling guard this direction, and we're going to get a lot of double teams and down blocks. Double teams here, working up to the backside, down block right here, and again, massive humanity following right here. Again, this is old school power football in an I formation. This is how we used to see it all day, every day on Sundays, going back decades. And if you're in this situation, if you're Tyleik Williams and you feel this double team, you cannot get moved. You got to create a massive humanity, and you can't let these guys get up to the next level. Tyleik Williams with really good technique here, really well coached. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's the polars, power concept. Well defended once again. I'll tell you what, the Lions, good run defense. Let's look at Tyleik Williams at the point of attack with a double team between the left tackle and left guard. Right there. He feels it coming. My goodness, he's already in that position. So they teach you as defending a double team as a defensive lineman to get skinny, get low, get as skinny as you can, of course, for a 300-pounder, and drop your knee to the ground just like this. This is how you stop a double team. And this is actually really good technique from the Baltimore Ravens. They've got good pad level. They're hip to hip. That's pretty good right there. That's not like bad technique from the Baltimore Ravens offensive line. But Tyleik Williams does a really good job. Both of these offensive linemen get caught up on them. They get no real movement, allows the linebackers to flow over the top. You can see right here, the backside linebacker, number 46, no one gets up to him. Right there, the tackle or the guard, normally the tackle in these situations, usually tries to come off on the backside linebacker, but he can't because he's caught up with Tyleik Williams. Therefore, 46, Campbell can flow over the top, and he makes a tackle. Team defense, guys. Good technique. This is what you want to see from Tyleik Williams. Again, selfless play, not selfish play. Selfish play would be to try and jump around the block or, not being willing to put your knee on the ground and just eat two guys. Tyleik Williams, day one guy, great selfless player, not a selfish player, and it helps lead to big Lions victories like we saw against the Ravens. All right, from the wide copy, watch Tyleik Williams. Again, get low, occupy the two blockers. There's his buddy to make the play. This is what it's all about, doing your job. The old Bill Belichick saying, right? It works because it's true. You have to do your job inside so the linebackers can do their job and make the tackle. The Baltimore Ravens, in terms of having an opportunity, this is what they want. They got a crease right here, but because the tackle can't get up to the backside linebacker, there's Campbell to fill, and it becomes a minimal gain. Great defense for Detroit. All right, let's switch it up and go with the pass rush. There's Tyleik Williams right there, lined up once again as a 3 technique on the outside shoulder of the guard. So we're going to get a play action concept here from the Baltimore Ravens. Derrick Henry's going to go this way. Fullback is going to go this way. Lamar Jackson's going to fake and try and set up in the middle of the pocket and look to throw it downfield. Tyleik Williams, though, he does a great job. Let me clean up the picture. The moment he feels the fake from the offensive line, he gets into the offensive lineman and fires through and gets pressure on the quarterback, forces the short throw. It's exactly what you need. Let's check it out. There's a snap. Play action. Quarterback looking deep. Pressure in his face, has to hit the check down, minimal gain. This is an opportunity where the Baltimore Ravens think they're trying to take a shot. They got guys going deep. Lamar Jackson may have someone open down the field, but how do you mitigate that? You have defensive linemen that push good players. 64 for the Baltimore Ravens. He's a really good center. Tyleik Williams just buries him into the lap of Lamar Jackson. Jackson has to sidestep it and just hit the check down. This is how you win, guys. Again, we talk about run defense, how you win by being selfless, playing good team defense. Pushing the pocket, forcing the quarterback to hit the check down all day is how you beat good teams, because these kind of play action shots with a good running game, this is how you generate big plays for the offense. But how you stop that is right here, Tyleik Williams making the quarterback uncomfortable, having to sidestep, hit the check down. Great play from the rookie.
I think this is a spot where Tyleik Williams has really stepped it up, and we're seeing a big jump from week 1 to week 3. Through the first 2 weeks of the season, only 1 total pressure for Tyleik Williams. We saw this week versus Baltimore, they were raining terror on Lamar Jackson in the pass rush department, and he was able to get 3 total pressures in this performance against the Ravens. So Really starting to see him come alive in the pass rush game. Like I said earlier, doing some great things in the run defense game. We're starting to see him come alive in the pass rush game. Really looking good early on for Tyleik Williams.
All right, let's hit on one of the funkier plays I saw all film when looking at this Lions-Ravens matchup. You see Tyleik Williams, of course, lined up once again as a three technique, as he did all day long. You can see right here the Detroit Lions, they only have 5 guys in the box, those 4 defensive linemen and a linebacker out here. Anzalone is right there on the right side of your screen. You may barely be able to see him. He is outside the box. The Ravens love these numbers, right? Because they got 5 linemen and a running back plus Lamar Jackson. So they're going to run a quarterback draw. Jackson's going to take a step and then go downfield. But interestingly enough, the Lions call a stunt. They have Reader go this way and Tyleik Williams go around this way. It's kind of an interesting concept to run it in this situation, but the defensive line does enough to force Baltimore to kind of cut back into the Detroit Lions' help. Tyleik Williams plays a big part of it. It's interesting that they have this scheme set up. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. Quarterback draw. Williams forces him into his help. Reader's there to make the play. Again, team defense. I mean, this is so wild to me that you would run a stunt with these two guys because they're more run stuffers, obviously, or at least Tyleik Williams certainly is. But listen, this is one of the things I like about 91. He's a pretty good athlete. You can do this kind of thing with him. It's not the most graceful stunt in the world, right? Looping around just like that. But because you can run it, you can get away with stopping the quarterback draw like this. Because I guarantee you, the Baltimore Ravens, when they came into this game plan, they were like, listen, when Tyleik Williams is in the game with DJ Reader, they're just going to do straight bull rush. So that's easy blocking for offensive line in the quarterback draw game. Instead, if you can do a stunt like this, you can totally blow up this play, like you see here. Because offensive linemen, in terms of draw blocking, run blocking, when you stunt like this, they don't have an answer, right? Because these 3 guys are trying to account for these 2, but if they jump around and bounce around, I mean, who's blocking who? Which direction the play is supposed to go, right? It's a nightmare up front to handle. Tyleik Williams, not the most graceful defensive tackle in the world, but he's just a good enough athlete to give the Lions some positional versatility to allow him to mix things up every once in a while. And again, it befuddles offenses and creates winning plays for the defense, just like this. Now look, Tyleik Williams, he's not going to make his bones running stunts, right? He's a great run stuffer, team defense guy, selfless guy, good at pushing the pocket. But what we're seeing from the young rookie so early in his career, that he's a complete football player with a very bright future.